What's up, guys? It's Black and back with some more RA content. It is back into that 1v1 action, and who do I turn to whenever I need a 1v1 cast that is entertaining? It's going to be Radical Centrist. I have no idea why, but it is always him. Looks like he is playing as Russia in his alternative green color this time, and in the top it is going to be Tux playing as Tuxington in his slightly darker than 5 Aces teal. It used to be a little bit lighter, I feel like, but he is going to be Germany. So we have a Russia versus Germany matchup on greener pastures. This is a pretty well established lad map. I think it was season 12, season 13 that it came about. Pretty good map. Got your standard double mine here, single mine and a single mine, so nothing too crazy. It does have a hospital in the middle that you can see some early action, and there is some oil derricks in the middle as well as the corner. Occasionally, if you don't kill those oil derricks, you can snipe an engineer, but it looks like both players are going to be really well prepared for that. Radical Centrist doing an interesting, it's like 10 engineer 5, 10 engineer 10 maybe? And looks like Tux went engineer first and then pumping out those rifles. One rifle out here, I'm not sure where he's going. I guess he's going on a very early scout. Totally fine. In today's day and age, getting that early rifle scout can mean the difference between discovering that you're dead from 3 light tank rushing or just finding out they're just chilling with a double ref build and you're totally safe. Looks like Tux is going to get the upper hand here with some well-placed infantry shots. I think Radical Centrist moved out at just the wrong time. Both players are going to get their first oil derricks, and then Tux is going to grab the hospital in the middle. Totally good. Ooh, Radical Centrist barely keeping that troop alive. That's nice to see. And he's going to get forced away because Tux is pretty well established there. And it looks like he's just going to rally everything away. He's going to send that engineer alone. Oh, this could actually be pretty good for... Never mind, Tux pulls away. Should be okay. I think those rifles will get there, or at least that one. As long as he does not lose to defender's advantage, this rifle stops first. Radical Centrist will be in a little bit of trouble there, but he can always force fire micro out there. Tux just going to go down to the bottom. He's got one rifle there already. He's going to be totally fine. And Radical Centrist is still hunting around. He's probably going to be able to kill this hospital if he wants to. That looks like that is what he's going to do. Both players double ref, although Radical Centrist did, looks like split his ref. You don't see this too much anymore, and it's not really a big deal. Losing one of these refs does suck a little bit, especially if you're doing a ref so something like that, or factory first and loses the ref bad. And yes, Tux did kill that rifle and the engineer over there, and the hospital unfortunately goes down, so that guy is not going to fully heal up, but it is what it is. That is a catchphrase of mine, I suppose, and fumbling all the names, but so far I feel like I'm doing pretty good. We got Radical Centrist and Tux. No ups or anyone else to think of at this time. I don't know why ups was the first one. Usually it's Andrew, but you know. Looks like Tux is already up to War Factory, not doing a double ref cell to get that third ref out. And Radical Centrist is a little bit behind. I'm not sure why he's about 15 seconds. Maybe he was just microing something out there. Tux already out with a Ranger. Radical Centrist with a second engineer and an APC, so he's going to go up and establish here on this oil derrick. Unless he misses that rifle, that could be pretty big. Got his first rockets out too, and Tux is just sitting in his base. Totally fine. I would like to see Radical Centrist be a little bit more active here. Just, you know, maybe try to push here, but he does want that oil derrick, which is pretty important. You know, 2 oil derricks really does have like a decent impact on your eco in the early game. It just lets you do stuff a little bit more stable. And oh god, that engineer is gonna go down again. That is, oh, it barely gets away. What a pullback. I don't know how. I guess a double vetted rifle does not two-shot an engineer. That is unfortunate. That is like a pixel of health. I can barely see it on my 2K monitor. But I think that Ranger is probably going to get there, unless I think this rifle scout is actually maybe going to save that engineer. And yes, it is going to get saved. Oh, just in the nick of time. Could probably shoot the barrel. It won't kill the APCs, but it will heavily damage it. And Tux is going to have to retreat for a little while unless these rockets show up to save that Ranger. But looks like Radical Centrist is not going to get that oil derrick. He's going to have to suffer for a little while longer. SD out for him. SD's already out for Tux, and his MCV is much quicker. And it looks like Radical Centrist is really behind for some reason. He shouldn't be. I mean, APC plus 5 harv should get him decent timing, but he's going to move out that MCV after some bad shift queues. He'll be alright. He should be able to reach there. He's going to have to start building the queue pretty soon. Looks like he's just going straight into heavy tank. Not a bad idea. Another rifle scout going down there for Radical Centrist. This Ranger is hunting for that engineer, and looks like they're both kind of dancing around each other. But Radical Centrist is going to have his infantry up here, and that is more than enough to deal with the Ranger. Tux got his MCV out. He's moving across the ORA, totally fine. Looks like Radical Centrist is building a barracks. First heavy tank already out. And it looks like Tux's Ranger did lose his engineer, but Radical Centrist still has an, that's nice. He's got to be careful going in with that Ranger though. He's probably gonna lose it. Yep. And it goes down. That is an expensive loss, actually. You really don't want to lose that Ranger. He does have some decent vision with his rifles around, but Rangers are so effective at vision that you really want to keep him. Second heavy tank out, and two heavy tanks. Two medium tanks, there we go. Probably screwing stuff up. Two medium tanks for Tux. Looks like he does have the armor advantage too, although just slightly, just about 300, something around there. Both equally destroyed loss, that's kind of cool. Is going to get that oil derrick off, and then engineer is going to get out of there, but as soon as those last rifles down, I'm sure that oil derrick is just going to get killed. That is a large chunk of Tux's army. He is quickly expanding across. Usually you see this happen more. Second Ranger goes down. Ooh, that is expensive, but it is going to say, hey, there is a pretty big army down here. Unfortunately, Tux's medium tank is out of position. He's going to lose a really big part of his army right there. You can already see he's 2k down on Radical Centrist. He's going to have to pull all of his army back. Radical Centrist just keep going in. It's kind of like the build I do. You just move that MCV out and start pumping out heavy tanks. It really gets you that armor advantage nice and quickly, which is pretty important in today's day and age. You know, it does have some effectiveness against like 3 ref light tank all in pushes. You have to be very careful with timing on that. If those light tanks hit you right as you're moving out that MCV, you will just die. Second MC finally coming out for Radical Centrist. Looks like it's going to go to the north, establish there once he fixes that rally point. Some more rifle scouts getting sacrificed to the pillbox gods. And this MCV is maybe just going to base push. Nope, finally figures it out. It's good. He's got these 4 rifle scouts on here. I like that. Should probably spread him out a little bit. And a third Ranger out for Tux, so not a good time for being a Ranger driver for Tux, I guess. He's just sacrificing to find out exactly where that army is. 2 medium tanks getting split off here, but Radical Centrist should be okay. He's got a barracks there and a flame tower, plus one of these medium tanks already kind of hurt. Although he has to be active with this army. This is a kind of a nice flame tower, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere as well. Heavy tank and a rocket gonna scare away those 2 Rangers. Looks like he did decap this too, and that engineer is gonna run into that APC. I think it's probably gonna get there. Another little poking engagement over here is gonna lose a little bit more, but he's still somehow actually Tux is back in the army value lead. Maybe it's the extra racks. He's got 7 up, and Radical Centrist is only on 3. So yeah, I think eco-wise Tux is also ahead of him, but destroy loss is definitely looking better for Radical Centrist, I believe. Eco-wise, yeah, they're about the same. Really big push here. The tanks are in the back. This is not going great for him. In fact, that army advantage is just now 2-1. That is not good. Another Ranger out for Tux. This one living a little bit longer than its predecessors. Not sure where this MCV is going. Looks like it's gonna backtrack over here. And yeah, Radical Centrist lost so much. Tanks were not in position right there. Tux was pretty well fortified. Pretty much all his army there. Looks like he's up to 2 war factory. And Radical Centrist is going for nothing right now, just another ref. He's really trying to eco up. I mean, he's got a decent cash float, so he should be alright there. Tux is going to have tier 2 out too, and, you know, kind of underrated. Going tier 2 and then having some arties with 2 war factory is really good. You can start pumping out like 8 artillery, and you don't really feel the pain that you would just trying to pump out 8 artillery with 1 war factory. This is quite the line of flame towers. This 1 random flame tower going to actually be the important scout that Radical Centrist probably wanted it to be. It's 2 medium tanks still floating down here somehow alive. Radical Centrist does have enough to deal with the armor, I think, and this is going to be pretty ballsy. Those flame towers are going to get some really good burst damage. And most of the armor is now out of position for Tux, so he's going to be able to clean through this, but it's going to be pretty expensive to do so. MCV going to try to get out of dodge, but I don't think it's going to make it very far at all. I see an army floating for Radical Centrist on the back side of the map too. 1 more shot on the MCV and it goes down. Radical Centrist loses his expansion there, but let's see how this is going over here. Nope, Tux is totally aware of it. This is looking pretty bleak for Radical Centrist, especially if those medium tanks get into the action right there. Although if Tux continues to play a little bit passive, it will be pretty bad for him. He will allow Radical Centrist to get back into this since he does have this expansion over here. Although honestly, Tux has been pretty much ahead this entire game, so it's looking pretty bleak for Radical Centrist. We'll have to see. Maybe he has something in his back pocket, like a miracle. He really needs one right now. Because heavy tank on that SC, that is nice. Tux is actually broke right now, and he's getting pushed back here. But this army in the back is not spotted, and it should be pretty effective, I think. Oh, barely gonna lose that rocket before 1 medium tank goes down. That is unfortunate. He really needs that rocket. One rocket shooting and killing an oil derrick right there too. That's pretty cool. One heavy tank over here just doing nothing. Tux has got an army there anyways. And this army is going to hit right on the eco lines. That is going to be goodbye, Harvester. In 3, 2, 1, already gone. 2 archers getting pushed off there. Radical Centrist is going to respawn, and then I'm assuming Tux is going to push in there, but he does only have 1 medium tank, and it's very low health. Going to lose a ref here, but that is not his biggest concern. He really just does not want to lose his SD or any of that. 1 medium tank going down. This ref probably shouldn't die. It's going to be very close. He's not repairing it, but it looks like these guys were on attack move rather than that, and losing a Harvester, that is unfortunate. Probably would have liked to have kept that one. Tux flanking here on the bottom. It's like a tank flank did get zapped. And timing flame towers right there. Gonna push away since that mid tank is out of position. Needs to retarget that flame tower on the rockets. There's quite a few there, but I think he'll be okay. Honestly, he's got some support coming in. Blackhawk seeing that support coming in anyways. APC saying hello to some pillboxes. And this Tux Ranger's definitely outlived its predecessors. Looks like it's actually providing some valuable intel. And as soon as I say that, it almost dies. The famous Caster's Curse. I'm not sure how he managed to get some V2 out, but he does have 2 of them. First artillery coming out for Tux. Would not be surprised if he's on tier 3. I've not looked in his base in a long time. But yeah, Radical Centrist definitely getting outplayed a little bit on this time around. I don't think he has really enough to stop this attack. I mean, this V2 shot is okay. It was surprisingly, it was aimed at the medium tank, and the medium tank moved, and that allowed it. But well, okay, here we go. Somehow he's managed to repel this, and he's taken a decent engagement here. But with the vision support, I think Tux will be okay. Blackhawk's gonna come in and clean that up. So I'm not sure how, but Radical Centrist is still holding on. He's holding on barely, but you know, that's all that matters. If Tux maybe feels like he's behind somehow, even though he definitely shouldn't be, you never know. Beautiful yak crash there, and strafed quite a lot of infantry, and he's able to expand on top of that, so that is actually important. He's now going to be even in expansions with Tux again, although I think Tux is in much better shape overall. Army value is almost double, a little bit less. Economy, his econ is definitely pretty good. Assets are pretty heavily in Tux's favor. And army, I mean, yeah, this is definitely Tux's game to lose at this rate. This MCV is still alive though, just perfectly straddling between 2 bases, although that ref is dangerously low. He's actually going to go for the flak, and he's not going to get it. That is some good flak micro there. Oh, he goes back. Oh, barely stays alive. Yeah, that was decent flak micro. Send that right to the SD, and you are doing it. Thank you, good sir. Armor graph looking pretty good for Tux. Nicograph is about where we expected to, so. Going on minute 13, and still no tier 3. Looks like, oh, I stand corrected. Tier 3 has been out for probably at least a minute now. What's the... That was about 20 seconds, so it was a little bit quick. This flak, gets it away, nice. Tanya is out, I've heard her laugh. Although, I mean, yeah, Tanya's going to be good here, but there's a yak out. And these flaks are actually pretty decent at repelling Tanya. Let's see, where is Tanya? She looks like she's probably in the main base. Yep, she is. Tux is definitely fallen into a passive game again. He likes to do this. I'm not sure why. He definitely could close this out if he really wants to, but instead he's going to attack with a quarter of his army right into exactly where Radical Centrist is staying and lose a huge chunk of it. And with that, we are almost even again. Tux just has a like 20% edge. Artillery gonna probably get a decent shot just because it's the splash. Second one actually misses, but again, Tux moving out with all of his army this time. He's going to push Radical Centrist out of here. Tanya is in there to boot, so that is definitely all forfeit. V2 not going to get away. MCV might get away temporarily. These flaks could actually make a huge difference there. Oh, that MCV is pretty damn close. The flaks coming in, killing 1 artillery. Looks like Radical Centrist is pushing back on this side too, and you know, I don't think Tux actually has enough to deal with this. The Raider Jammer could be big, but there is 2 heavy tanks, and that can make quick work of them. Raider Jammer doing alright. Longbow in there too, but there is a flak that's it's hack moving there. These 3 flaks though, goodbye Longbow. Looks like he's content just to shell on this side, but there is a yak out that could make all the difference. Now he's pushing in, but there is a lot of defense there. It's going to be pretty costly, and he did not kill that testicle at first. I think there's just enough there for Radical Centrist, especially if he kills the Tanya. Oh, gets a decent job with that yak, actually. Loses the radar, but... oh, it's going to be a tough hold there. I think he needs one more flame tower, and it's coming close. Looks like the attack on the left side got stalled out anyways. One tank with just a sliver of health left, but another yak coming out. Oh, and it's testicle. That's not what he needs, but that yak is pretty good. And it has to go back and instantly refill. MCV trying to get away for a second time, and there's another medium tank down there because why wouldn't there be? And the rare doorbell going off as you're casting, that is unfortunate for me, but there goes the MCV. There goes an advanced power plant. Yak's still up, so that's cool. Where were we again? I lost all track of what was going on with this game. Ooh, IC out, tier 3 out for Radical Centrist. That's pretty good. This base is... I think it's going to be okay. I mean, he doesn't have any rockets there, so this medium tank's going to be hard to deal with. And he's targeting the medium tank with the yak. I guess he's really worried about the medium tank, but, you know, Tux really can't push in at all. Tanya over here going to repel this. Looks like Paradrop up there on the top. That could be pretty good. These flaks have been definitely paying off their dividends. I just wishes he was using them a little bit more active. Flamethrowers doing their best to kill a medium tank, and they managed to do it. He really needs that yak over here to deal with this Tanya. It's going to be pretty difficult unless she runs straight forward by herself. That could be pretty bad. This is a pretty big army from Tux, and I don't think Radical Centrist has enough to deal with it, especially with the Raider Jammer in there, but he does not have a lot of infantry anyways. There comes the yak, probably going to go for Tanya. Sells the SD off immediately. Goodbye, Tanya. Yak has paid for itself. Oh, crashes onto the IC. War Factory. Good IC there. And now without Tanya, Tux is actually going to have a little bit of trouble here, but he just needs to retreat far enough away, and Radical Centrist is not doing a very good job of pushing in that entire army. IC wears off, and those medium tanks are going to be able to deal with those heavy tanks. But that could have gone a lot worse for Radical Centrist without that IC. That IC being very impactful as typical. Secondary army coming in here for Tux, and once again, Radical Centrist is probably just barely going to hold on with the skin of his teeth just because those infantry were too far behind those medium tanks. Gonna kill some power. That could be pretty good, although he'll still be fine after this power plant goes down. If this one goes down, I think he'll be in trouble. Mechanic running through the field gonna actually get some damage off from the flamethrowers, so that's kind of funny. Losing this ref here, not the biggest thing. He doesn't want to have here, but it is a little further away since the eco's gonna slow down a little bit. Ooh, and these... I see a chrono tank out there. That's probably honestly not what he needs. Raider Jammers being a tank's probably fine. I mean, unless he gets like 20 of those. Nuke is out for Tux too. No Chronosphere for him. That is unfortunate. Looks like those Paradrops did manage to kill Harvester up top. And yeah, these flaks finally getting some poke damage. Gonna kill all that army. Radical Centrist is long distance mining here. Unfortunately, the timing on that Harvester is pretty suspect. He's probably gonna lose it if Tux is paying attention. And he does see it. And it might actually get away now because it fully harvested. And actually, now he pulls it full away, but bad pathing and it goes down. So Radical Centrist is once again just hard pressed to make any sort of movement here. Little army poking away at this Harvester as soon as it wants to go over there. This Harvester long distance mining to the top since this ref over here died. Does have it SC out again, which is nice. And he is scouting with this flax. Does see that there is an army there. Tux, I think, with the 6th Ranger of this game. Spy play coming in. I think there's a little army over here, but just the one rocket, and it looks like Tux is aware of it somehow. But, you know, he might get some decent trades out of there, just depending on... Oh, those are like perfectly outside of his vision. But he does get the tank in front, and all that army is going to go down for Tux. Don't lose that. Yeah, those are like your one saving grace right now. You really need those. I'm not sure what Tux is waiting for. Maybe he's just broke. Yep, they're both broke. Although Tux has AR Harvester, so he should be alright. He's probably going to have a ref here in just a second. Yes, as I say that. But, you know, Radical Centrist can definitely take this if he's smart about it. Oh, but that yak has got get a good crash at least. Well, kills 2 rockets, so not the worst thing in the world. And Icy's there. That is going to cause Tux to back up, and that is the right idea, except for there is 2 flaks. Unfortunately, one of them going to go down to a pillbox, and the second one not having enough health to really chase away. Ooh, Tux with some good micro there. It should definitely just kill that pillbox. It was so close. He's going to go for the refinery and not even get it. That is unfortunate for Radical Centrist. Every army that he wastes like that is just another step closer to the grave. It is looking pretty bleak once again on the army value. It's double for Tux, basically 30,000 to 15,000. One yak over here, gonna see a wall of pillboxes. Does snipe out the Tanya, which is great. Oh, yak crash not onto the tech center and does not get onto the ball where he really wanted it anyways. Another yak going down here. This little outpost for Radical Centrist is probably gonna go down, and with that, that's probably gonna be a GG, and there it is. GG from Radical Centrist. Well played by Tux. Throws off a Chronos here from his Chrono Tank, because why not? It's definitely a pretty exciting game. Looks like Radical Centrist was a little bit on the back foot, more than I'd like to see it. I would really like to see some better IC usage. I mean, this one right here was pretty good. This one over here, that's some rich. So it's 50-50 there. That's actually probably a decent ratio for Iron Curtain usage. Did not get to see a nuke either, but it is what it is, and we'll be back next time. Alright, we are actually back here with part 2 because these two boys are back at it again. This time we are on Champion from Megatank, which reminds me a little bit of like Kosovo and Bird Quest? I don't know how to say that name actually when I think about it. Bird Chest? Some city in... God, is that the Czech Republic? I'm stretching my geography there. Not so much Eastern Europe as I am Western Europe and Middle East in that area. Obviously I know where Australia is and those places, but much more comfortable on the American side of the hemisphere. And of course we have a pause already, so we're gonna go ahead and jump this up to 2000 because why not? I said 2000, I meant 200. It takes one game for me just to fall apart while casting. And here we go. Ready? 1 sec. Good luck. KK. Here we go. Alright, cool. Looks like Radical Centrist is Russia this time, and Tux is also Russia, so we're gonna have a Russia mirror on this map. That could be pretty interesting. Looks like we really just want to... I mean, this is big Kosovo vibe right here. Oil derrick there, double mine expansion, single mine expansion. 2 oil derricks up in the front. Looks like nothing in the bottom, so gonna see some grenadiers out here for Tux. Okay, that's pretty interesting. It's gonna take forever to get there, and looks like Radical Centrist might actually sniff out that something weird's going on because he's gonna push all the way across. Although honestly, I guess you'd really probably expect him to be going for the oil derricks first. You know, maybe pushing across your infantry right here. But that rifle instantly goes down. Does see that Radical Centrist is there. I mean, I feel like Radical Centrist should probably have the best Wi-Fi possible with Tux, considering they're close, but maybe this server was in Europe, you don't know. Radical Centrist is going to push in here, and he's actually going to be okay. Tux is going to lose a lot of infantry, and he's even losing some infantry on the backside there. But these Grenadiers could come in a minute. There is a Grenadier here for Radical Centrist too, so he's actually going to get that power plant if he wants it. He's going to kill all the rifles. 2 more left. And the Grenadier does kill that. But let's see what these Grenadiers... Nope, they're not there yet. And Radical Centrist did not go for an engineer, so this game might actually be over already. There is 2 rifles left, and unfortunately Radical Centrist did not have vision on them, so these rifles are going to get a few more kills before they go. Grenadier is finally coming in, but there is 2 rifles. If they stay home, oh, this could be so good. They're actually going the wrong way. He needs it up if he figures it out. I think Radical Centrist is probably going to lose his power plant, but on that he should be okay. That's how quick his reaction time is. Pretty good. Does lose 1, sells off ref. That's pretty good. That's all those Grenadiers are going to get. So yeah, I definitely think Radical Centrist taking the early win there. Tux is pretty hurt after that. I mean, he did get his 2 refs out, which is nice, but he's 20 seconds behind on the War Factory. Does have an engineer advantage, so he's going to get that second oil derrick well before Radical Centrist, so it's kind of a toss-up. I think Radical Centrist definitely having the edge there, especially if he kills that oil derrick. That can be pretty good. Tux does not have the army advantage at all, that's for sure. It's actually kind of close, but you know, he's spent a lot of money into more rifles since he's been on 2 refs for quite a while. 2 more Grenadiers on here, making sure that there goes down that much faster. So he's going to be up 2-1 after a while. I would love to see him capture that hospital too. And it looks like he got a double mine over here, so yeah, I guess. I mean, you kind of have to go here first, but a really quick expansion here would be really good. Maybe like crawling here with your 1 MCV would be pretty good, because you can pretty much park it right here and cover here and here. I'm pretty sure if you parked it right here anyways, you could actually have radius go across too, which would be pretty nice. Oh, there goes Radical Centrist's army advantage. He goes right into a stack of Tux's rifles and dies. Yeah, push 1 MC out here, and then maybe you just don't even go for extra tanks first. You just go for an MCV and you just push right here, or push it right here, and a Tesla Coil would be pretty good. And I think that would be really hard to deal with on this map, because, I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah, you're definitely going to be able to save this one, so it'll be okay for a while, but, like, the longer that this goes unopposed, or especially if you can start actually, like, ecoing off this, that's going to make a huge difference. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mines versus maybe, I think, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's a huge economic difference. I guess there is 2 more fields over here, but I feel like those are definitely late game. I would not be surprised if those are not taken at all this game. Radical Centrist just trying to get that hospital, but there is some stuff out here. Does have plenty of rockets to do with that APC if it tries to go in for crushes, unless he gets some amazing crushes, but I think he's going to be okay. And does not get the engineer, does not get any crushes. Gonna try to go back in with the flak, but I don't think it's gonna go out very well for him. Unless he gets some incredible splash, but oh, that flak is barely gonna get away, and now all those guys are gonna heal up, so that flak damage is gonna be nil. And we do have an MCV move out here, just kind of like what I was thinking. It looks like Tux did the same thing, so that's probably the right move on this map. That first heavy tank taking so much damage for free, that is not good. He needs to send that back to the SD. And there he goes, perfect. Looks like he does have to move that OC out a little bit more. I do like what Tux did better though. I think he has the advantage of this map just because of the nature of MCVs being 3x4, so he can build a little bit easier. Gonna get that much down quicker too. And a second heavy tank in here. Oh, Tux has 2 APCs though. This could be pretty good for him. Another huge chunk of armor missing from that heavy tank. But Tux is about to overextend, I think. First APC gonna go down. And it looks like Tux is just on APC tech, so he's basically kind of doing like a weird 3-ref MCV push out. These heavy tanks definitely gonna play dividends if he can keep them alive. Engineer healed, follow up. And that second MCV going to the top, I don't like that. I think if he'd gone over here, that would have been fantastic. We'll have to see how that turns out for him. But so far, both armies just kind of dancing around each other relatively close. It looks like they're only about 500 difference. This hospital actually going to be pretty big, especially after these engagement like this. Soviets have no way to heal their infantry, and every infantry that heals up is just like another dollar saved. Easy pushing across. I do like that, just because it's going to, you know, easily establish this. Oh, Tux has to be really careful here. He's going to have a good angle, I think. Oh, and no scatter command. A lot of those stuff going down, but a huge amount of army is still around. 1 heavy tank going down for like 4 APCs. Definitely was in Tux's favor though. 12,000 to 6,000, so once again, double army advantage. But it is a little bit misleading. He has 2 APCs, and those are, you know, paper tigers pretty much. It's all going to come down to the infantry density, which Tux has quite a lot, but again, no armor for that infantry density, and flame towers will make an absolute mockery of that. Although Radical Centrist is going to need to push over here. 3 flame towers is going to be okay for now, since there's only 1 APC left, but Tux, if he really wanted to, it could be really costly, but he could push through there. This army, however, would probably kill what was ever left, so probably a good retreat there. We can get forced back some more. Radical Centrist needs to be careful not to overextend, but, you know, he's got a pretty decent concave there. And I think Tux is, honestly, this is kind of baiting Radical Centrist. He's pushing out really far now. He's going to turn into him in just a second here. Although these 2 heavy tanks again, that could make all the difference. But that APC taking a lot of damage, and Radical Centrist is doing some heavy base pushing here. Or at least some very macro intensive grabbing the field. Now another APC goes down for Tux. And it's kind of a hard engagement here. He's got the better concave. Radical Centrist is going to lose his army, but again, that Flame Tower actually going to be pretty annoying for Tux. Probably not expecting it, so he's going to lose a pretty big chunk of infantry, I think, as soon as they go into range. And they just skirt around it. But I think this next burst is going to be pretty good. Not bad. Unfortunately, they have a tank gets in front, and that only rifle or that Flame Tower does not get any more off. So it's looking pretty bleak for Radical Centrist here, but again, Tux is kind of exposing his main base a little bit. The longer that he can keep this pressure on Tux and just moving this army back and forth, the better he can get at recovering. I don't know why he went into APC tech. It looks like that was maybe a bad cue because his infantry vehicle was rather stalled and a V2 out, so he's a quick transition to tier 2. That's pretty interesting. This is actually pretty good right now if this V2 can actually get him down in time, but we'll have to see. 2 heavy tanks prowling on the backside. Looks like Tux is completely aware of it. Has a second MCV finally coming out. And this MCV, or this V2 rather, it's going to make all the difference. A lot of flame towers there for Radical Centrist. Doing decent damage on that heavy tank as soon as it stops, but if you really wanted to, you could absolutely push in. There's nothing Radical Centrist could do. Still chasing down those 2 heavy tanks in the back. Hospital finally goes down. Oh, he actually moves it into the V2 shot. Got lucky there, but still not that huge. I think it only killed rifles anyways. These heavy tanks taking the road to speed out of there. It's probably good. And Radical Centrist placed that 1 flame tower, I think. Realized he lost his army and retreated back. That's good. They're tier 3 already offered. Wow, so this is a very quick tier 3. We are under 10 minutes. IC is going to be out at 10:30. That is pretty important. Does he have the power for it? Yes, he is going to have the power for it thanks to that second power plant right there. Moving out his main MCV across. So it's actually going the opposite of the way I imagined this map would go. He's taking this first, and now he's moving into the corner. Which is really surprising. I mean, like, 1 rifle right here pretty much cuts down any flank. You know, maybe another one right there if you want to make sure you don't go over the little shallow areas, but these flanks, they seem like they're deep, but they're really shallow, really easy to scout. It's all about the middle of the map right here. Tux has a pretty big army, although Radical Centrist has caught up. He's only 3k down. IC is not going to be ready for another 2 minutes, and that could be a problem. He's got all of his armor down here, and it really needs to be right here, because that is exactly where Tux is going to want to push. But Radical Centrist is going to be able to establish here, or at least eventually. His power plant is probably on the wrong side. Needs to crawl a little bit there. Tux is going to try to go in there, but there's going to be nothing. And they're probably going to... Ooh, he could actually catch these harvesters coming across. That could be pretty big. Get 2 free harvesters for nothing. Let's see how quickly Radical Centrist is able to micro those harvesters away. Oh, and there's a pause, so we're going to just speed this up again, because why not? I'm not sure what's going on yet. It's not a punch show pause, though. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'll have to keep an eye on everything. See if anything shift during the pause. Looks like we're pretty good so far. Oh, there's a few shifts. Yep, so Tux is microing. That's sus. It's, some bad manners there, but I don't think this really matters. It's just a game between 2 people. I don't even think this is ladder. It might have been ladder. Cannot remember. Have to see if Tux's APM spikes up, because I think that will show too if he's queued a bunch of stuff. Couple minutes, so we're gonna go to max speed and 10 minutes now, so wow, this is quite the pause there. I'm not sure what happens. Maybe Radical Centrist had somebody come to the door and he's got to answer it, so Tux is definitely going to spend all this time microing, because why not? Maybe he has some other stuff to do. Almost. We're still on max speed. There we go. Missed a whole bunch. Tux comes in here. Had all that time to set up a concave, and it definitely paid dividends. Mammoth in here doing some work, and this V2 are trying their best. Unfortunately, not getting perfectly microed, but this secondary army, I'm not sure where it came from, but it's actually going to kill that MCV if it wants to. And Chuck still has a lot left here, but the 3 V2s are going to be pretty dangerous. Although he's probably going to lose at least 1. That's going to be a great job, though. Wow. Pretty much kills all the rockets there. 2 rockets left, and we got Tesla Tech coming out, so that is a change. And there's a big, wow, so much happening. Although the Harvesters did go down here. Missed all that. Tux has still got the army advantage. although it's very slight, 3,000. But what can one Tesla tank do against this? And a MiG, don't forget the MiG, but unfortunately not a good target for MiG. Just a few heavy tanks, and MiGs are notoriously slow at dealing damage. They really don't want to deal with anything that has AA nearby, which tanks typically do. Two Tesla tanks gonna try their absolute best. Oh, IC's going down. It's gonna get just in time, I think. Yes, barely just in time. Gets one IC off on the Tesla tank. And Tux is gonna try to stick around here, but you know, he really should just target fire that one. And I think he'll be okay. IC is gonna run out. No repair on that IC. That would have been pretty good. Hey, they may kill something. That's cool. Tux has V2 now. But that's pretty much all of his army. So maybe Tux forgot his Q now. He's got one V2 and a second war factor over here. I think he'll be okay. Two MiGs out now for Radical Centrist. This is kind of a crazy game. Coming down here because he needs to protect his Harvester. That's where all his eco is. And unfortunately, the Tux Link has moved on to his back line. Finally repairing that IC, which is nice. V2 does get that final shot on the Flame Tower, which is good. MiG over here could have been useful killing that V2. And yeah, let's see what Radical Centrist is going to do about this. Tesla Tech is hard to deal with, and Tux does not have any air, so that is going to be unfortunate. But he has pushed into the heart of what should be Radical Centrist territory. Okay, MiG's hunting and Harvesters will be pretty good. That Harvester not going to be long for this world. Oh, unless he target fires the Refinery, that's an interesting choice. I don't think he has enough to deal with it after killing or wasting his first load. It's going to be pretty close. Oh, just one volley short. Had he not targeted the Harvester, I think he would have been alright. V2 looks like it's going to kill that oil derrick, unless these Tesla tanks say no. They do see that there is a flame tower, and they have plenty of range to outdeal with that. Oh, loses the flak. That sucks. Do not need to lose that flak, and that would have been pretty nice, because now Tux is transitioning into Tier 2. Oh, there it goes down. Manages to kill some infantry force trouble 2. Oh, the flak does not get a single shot off. That is unfortunate for Tux. IC is ready again, so he has to be very careful when he pushes. We need some flaks over here, because those MiGs are about to be ready again. Ghost firing onto the oil derrick, manages to kill a rocket. And there goes the IC, and he's going to go squish, squish, squish. Actually getting good crushes so far. And Tux is going to get pushed back. He only has the one yak since he lost the other one. Fetch to C2 on that flak track. Yeah, I think Tux is actually going to lose this game. Somehow Radical Centrist, maybe he was studying, taking a look deep into the book of OpenRA knowledge to figure out how to beat Tux during that pause, and that's why it took him so long to... Oh no, not the MiGs. Use the yaks, yes. I think he should not lose a yak here, I think. Yep, barely gets one away. Perfect. Now I can use those MiGs to kill those Harvesters up there. And that looks like exactly what he's going to do. Goodbye, Harvester. Goodbye, Harvester. Oh, one more. V2 slowly snipe away those power plants. And this little infantry flank has done so much of value. Looks like a heavy tank getting a lot of those kills since only one of those things is vetted up. But unfortunately their time on this earth has ended, as Tesla tanks are the perfect counter to tank flanks and little infantry flanks like that. One last rocket soldier thinks he's going to get it away, but he's not. Oh, this could be pretty good if he does not conga line in. He needs to slow down, wait for this tank to get in front, because Tesla Tech cannot deal with this amount of armor. And IC is not up, but he does have his Air Force coming in, so it's going to be pretty dicey. We'll have to see. If this go all in the infantry, that could be pretty big. Oh, that was a great strafe. All the infantry pretty much going down. And now those Tesla tanks can do what they do best, which is kill retreating armies. Does lose the IC for that, but honestly, I think that was okay, because 22k to 6,500 is kind of rough. Harvester going down, and again, he does not have anything to deal with this tech. It's like his eco has been pretty poor this entire time. You can kind of see, yeah, it's actually about been even, so it's kind of interesting. Looks like Radical Centrist is just base pushing over here to steal the orb, because why not? Because all the attention's been right here, where it should be. And now we see some Tesla Tech from Tux himself, so Tesla versus Tesla, you don't see that too often. That is such a hard, like, engagement. Killing the Tesla tanks is really good. You gotta be really good with, like, target firing them. Unfortunately, Testicle onto the Tux tank over here, that's actually gonna hurt. Loses one Harvester, probably gonna lose at least two, and he's gonna get pushed out of there. Yeah, Tesla vs. Tesla Tech, it actually, you need shock troopers, surprisingly. You need shock troopers, rifles, and Tesla tanks. Don't go mammoth tanks because they get zapped too easily, unless you have like a lot of them. Man, these Tesla tanks just rough riding right through Tux's base, right into the waiting paratroopers, and that Harvester is going to die. One more zap. One more zap. There we go. And now we got one Tesla tank probably going to go down to the Yak, although Tux absolutely struggling to kill those. Oh, and that Tesla tank is going to get away. That is so big. And the MiG's coming back to kill two more Harvesters. That is pretty big. I think Tux is going to be down to just probably like 3 Harvesters left. Yeah, 3 Harvesters exactly. That is rough to deal with. And that Tesla tank getting away in the top. I don't see a way back for Tux, unfortunately. Looks like the pause definitely working in Radical Centrist's favor. IC is power down too. That is unfortunate. He really needs that power. He's so short on power though. I think we're gonna see a 1-1 split here because that MCV is dead, and that is Tux's only MCV. So there is a GG, just about when I was about to call it for him. And there we go. So kind of the comeback behind victory. Tesla claimed out Teslas. Yep, those were pretty good uses of Tesla tanks. I thought it was pretty over for him. I'm not sure how he managed to get back into this. And yep, there you go. Tux sent these to me, so good on you, Tux, for sending a loss. That's always nice. Yeah, one more factor 2 on the Tesla tanks, which is, oh, yeah, 2 over here for a little while, but still. That was a definitely impressive comeback for game 2. Game 1, definitely Tux is pretty winning, but game 2, somehow Radical Centrist pulled it off. So with that, I'll see y'all next time.